So we're back to using application parts and templates. So I'm in Backstage View and I'm going to do a blank database. And I'm not going to save this on an external drive. I'm just going to put it in my AL2C6 folder because that way I know where it is. And I'm going to click, actually I'm going to click on Browse because I want to choose my location. And I'm going to click Create. Now we're going to close out of Table 1. And we're going to use a template to create a new table. And we're also going to be creating 2 new forms. And we're going to do this by going into Create and clicking on Application Parts. And we are going to use the Tasks Quick Start. So this is how you're going to get the table with the forms. Okay, and it's generated some generic ones for us. So we are going to enable the content. And the purpose of this database is to keep track of employees that are responsible for specific tasks. So we need an employee table that's going to hold the name and address information. So we're going to go into our table group and we're going to click on the table button. And let's see, we need more fields. This is under Table Tools and Fields. I'm going to click on the More Field list arrow. And then what we're going to do is add some fields to this. Now we're going to have to scroll down because what we want is under Quick Start. And we want to add name. And you'll notice it added last name and first name automatically when we selected name. And we're going to go back in there and add address. And you'll notice that when we added address, we got address, city, state, zip, country, region. Now I noticed that it moved my first name, so I'm going to actually move my first name back because I don't want it at the end. And at this point, I have all the information I need, so I'm going to save, and I'm going to call this employees. And that was much faster than having to key all of that manually. Now we're going to switch over to Design View and make a couple little tweaks to this. Instead of ID for the key field, we're going to change it to EMP ID. And short text is what we want. And the country region field we don't need. So let's just select that and delete it out of there. And I'm going to move first name in here as well because that should not be at the bottom. So what we want is EMP ID, last name, first name, address, city, state, and zip. So I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to go over into my data sheet. And they want me to add myself. So you don't have to key in real data if you don't want to as far as your address goes. So I'm going to key in a bogus address here. All right, and I'm going to best fit this so I can see everything. And so I've saved this. Now I'm going to close it. And I'm going to open up tasks. And we're going to tab over ID. That's just an auto number field being used for the key. And we'll start keying in the task title, review convention venues. Priority is a 1. Well, usually it'll let me do that, but I have to do the long way and click the arrow. Not started is fine. Description is investigate major convention centers in Miami. The start date is whatever the current date is. And the due date, it's going to be a month from now. And for the attachments, we're leaving that blank. Percent complete is also going to be blank. And for active, we're going to leave that turned on. And that's quite interesting because I don't have an employee ID field in here yet. So let's save this. Must have missed that step. We're going to go over into design view. We're going to add hemp ID here. And I believe that was short text. So let's save this. Swap back over. Now we can enter the employee ID that is assigned to the task. And let's close out of tasks. So we've got one employee, they have one task. We're going to go ahead and create our relationship here. Let's add both of our tables. And so one employee can have many tasks. So we're going to take employee ID from employees to tasks. We will turn on all of the rules and click create. We will save our changes and close. Now, in addition, they would like us to use the query wizard to create a quick little query here. And then we're going to be creating a report based on that query. So we're going to go to create, query wizard, simple query wizard. And for this, we are going to use ID, task title, priority, and description. Those are all from the task table. We got ID, task title, priority, and description. And then we're going to switch tables and go to employees. And we're going to be adding last name and first name. And then we're going to click on next. And they just want us to use the default name here, task query. So we're going to click on finish. And they want us to best fit these. And then we will save our changes and close out of the query. And we're going to generate a report based on that query. So we're going to select it, go to create, and hit report. Get rid of my property sheet. And it just says to use the default settings. But I am going to go into page setup and landscape this. And let's see. I'm pretty sure we can get this on one page. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Make that a little taller. Let's do priority just a little bit. All I'm doing is making these just a little smaller so that we can see everything. All right, now we have it on one page. Widen this up here so it lines up nicer. Same with this. We can right align that. And then we can delete this one here because there's no reason to total the IDs. That's really silly. All right, and we'll change our title to tasks. All right, so that doesn't look too bad. Let's save this. And we're going to just call it tasks. And then we can go ahead and close out of our report. And at this point, we are done, so you can also close the database.